We'll just roll with it. When you jump in to the chat, just tell me where you're from. We'll give a few minutes for everybody to pop in here. Welcome, TFK Real, Greg, Wade Life. Appreciate y'all being here. Oh, yeah, Wade Life. I know where you're from. Everybody having a good evening? Indiana, home of Purdue basketball. I knew you would say that, Greg. I'm a big UNC Tar Heel fan, but the last couple years I've definitely cannot be too excited about being a Tar Heel fan. I agree, Wade Life. I'm looking forward to that river fishing. It'll be my first outing, but I think I'm going to have a good time. I know my luck. I will probably have a blooper or two, so you better make sure that you're bringing your filming equipment too. Yeah, I saw your pictures from yesterday. I was a little bit jealous. Those were some nice ones. Yeah, Stormy. I'm starting to learn YouTube names versus the people I talk to. Welcome, Mr. Gimpy. Thanks for joining the live. Some of y'all know where you're from, but if you're new, this first time jumping on the chat, just let me know where you're from. I went live just a few minutes early because my microphone was not showing that it was connected, and the directions said to go live. It would take me to a preview screen and I wouldn't be live. Well, that in fact was a lie. Appreciate that, Mr. Gimpy. So, Wade Life, what was the biggest one you caught yesterday? I know we'll have some more jumping on here shortly. I kind of threw everybody off by trying to figure out the mic setup. Well, I'm giving everybody a few minutes to log on here. I'll talk about GP Outdoors 1. He sent me a video this weekend, and he's been making some man-made fishing structures, and they look quite nice. So he's got him a little side hustle going there. So if you are in the market for some fishing structures, GP Outdoors 1 is your man. 18 and a half. Lost one that was well over in the 20s. Yeah. Were those all smallmouth? All smallies. I know you a smalley type guy. We catch a lot of smallies around here, but sometimes we get the largemouth, so it just depends on the area. But I will say that I fished 3 of the 4 lakes we have locally. I didn't go to one of them last year, and the the one, it's called Warriors. It did not produce at all last year, and that place is good for bank fishing or if you want to carp fish, sometimes catfish, but I am yet to pull a bass out of that body of water. It's a little tougher fishing. 24-inch personal best on a smallie. Yeah, I don't know what I'd do with a 24-inch smallie. Well, let's just hope those smallies are hungry the day we go. Yeah, that 20, when you hit the 20s, that's definitely a tank. I feel your pain, Greg. Yeah, Purdue should have a good team. They're like my Tar Heels. You can't put faith in them. Oh, I know Wade Life. We're going to have a ball regardless if we catch anything or not. I don't think I ever have a fishing trip where I don't have some fun regardless of what's going on. Definitely have my motor. Trust me, I'll take that motor any chance I can get. Yeah, Greg, you sent me some nice pictures today, so you're definitely hitting some nice ones. Mother Nature hates us in Northeast Tennessee right now. Doesn't know if it wants to be winter, springtime, fall. Yeah, I find dead long sections is a good chance to just relax. I find myself doing that a lot when I kayak fish. Is when I hit a section I'm going to, just a good chance to take a mental break. I don't know what our water temperature is right now. I went to get my kayak and checked the weather again toward the end of the week, and Saturday we had wind gusts up to 30, and I broke enough rods last year that I wasn't about to even fool with it, not for 2 hours worth fishing. It's the groundhog's fault. It's somebody's fault. I think this week we're supposed to have a couple of days decent weather, but we're supposed to have a lot more rain. So I figured I was going to take this week and start on the power and light project on the kayak. Got something cool I'll show you right here in just a second that I've been working on. It's an all day float. I'm good with that. I think my family's gonna make that trip with me too because my daughter loved Nashville. So when I told them we were gonna hook up and go fishing, they immediately said road trip. Well, people are jumping on here. So I'm getting ready to install nav lights and power to my kayak. So I printed this little box and it'll hold a 10, 20 amp hour Aqua battery. And my plan is, and it's even got a little hole right there that I can run my cables through. So my plan is on my black pack, I'm gonna mount this on the inside, drop my battery in, close that off, and I ain't gonna have a bunch of cables running and hanging everywhere. So I'm gonna mount that toward the top, right where my plug's gonna be, and gonna make it nice and neat on the inside. And then I'll still have all the bottom for tackle box storage. So that's something I've been kind of planning till I got to this point. Yeah, we may look at an Airbnb for that trip. Um, the wife, the daughter, maybe a few of us come, so we may have to turn that into an Airbnb. Yeah, yeah. This I felt this file on my. It's nothing I designed, but I found this file on Bamboo Studio, and it's really the only one I could find. And I want to say it was like a dollar, dollar and a half to print. It is cheap. I think it took 7, 8 hours to print that, but I don't think I could go anywhere and buy a little box like that, even on the Zon for less than $1.50. So as soon as I hit print, just let her run for 7 or 8 hours, and then come jerk it off, and good to go. I'm trying to make this very clean on the install. So I've when I've thought about doing the lights and the power, one thing I thought about, and if you've seen any of the podcasts that I was on this week, talked a little bit about adaptability on the kayak and currently not being able to stand. And that was my main goal, is I did not want to have to try to get up, maneuver around on the kayak just full with cabling and all that stuff. So when I plotted this build of doing the power and the lights, I talked to Nakwa, and every single part that I have is going to be a plug and play system. So I'm approaching this strictly from the newbie perspective. Like, if you don't know anything about wiring, which I am not that knowledgeable on wiring, but I wanted to do this so if somebody was intimidated, they could just order the parts. All they're going to have to do is drill a couple holes, run their cable, and plug and play. You are not going to have to worry about connectors, all that stuff. So, yeah, I saw the Guardian light. It's a really nice light. Um, but when I was thinking about this, I was trying to do this from the perspective of a pretty easy budget build. And there, that crossbar is nice, and that's something I'm probably going to add later this summer. But for this particular video, I just wanted you to be able to go one site, get, if you just want to run lights and a plug-in, you can go to one site, get your battery, get your nav lights, get you a USB-C plug-in, and just drill you a couple holes, mount it, run your wire, plug it into your battery. That is it. So I'm gonna try to get that done this week. I've got a little trip coming up this weekend. I can't say too much because I don't know how many people know. I haven't seen too much posted about it, so I don't want to give it away for all the other people. So I'm not going to do that. But let's just say I'm going to be driving 5.5 hours, and I'm going to get to do some fishing with some really cool people. And I got a fishing report today from one of the guides there, and they say it's supposed to be good. We'll see. Because even when the fishing's good, I still usually suck. I've heard there's some giant bass there. Yeah, I can promise you this. I can go down there or over there, up there, and not catch a single fish. And I think that I am going to have a ball. Let's see. Yak Gadge has the best price I have found for the Cat Bridge. I haven't looked at that. Bass Pro Shop. Let me tell you what. I ain't never fishing a Bass Pro Shop again. I have a Bass Pro Shop 10 minutes from my house. And I've went there a couple times, and I am still yet to catch fish. So I have tucked catfish bait, I've tucked shrimp, dough balls, whatever, just trying to catch catfish, nothing. I have tried bluegill, bass. In 2 years there, I have not pulled out a single fish. I will tell you this much. There's so much structure there that I have lost so many lures that I think Bass Pro should give me a gift card for walking down that steep hill and stepping all in geese poop and roasting to not even get a bite. So Bass Pro, if you're listening, you owe me a nice gift card, which I will gladly spend on a rod and reel. Oh, the big tank. Yeah, that's where all the fish are at. They're not in the pond anymore. I think they moved them to the big tank. Did you go fishing how long did you fish today, Greg? Two hours. You got 2 hours more than I got. And if all those fish that you sent me were from 2 hours, you had a really good day. Yeah, their captain's bridge is really nice. Like I said, I'll probably switch mine up a little bit just to do this video. I've just got the two little straight LED strips, the green and the red, that I'm gonna 3M. Well, they're got the sticky back on them that I'm gonna put right up where the handle is on my shearwater, and my hatch is right below that. So that's one reason why I want to do that, in case anybody's using a shearwater and they just get one. It'll be a simple, easy project to do. Well, your 3 pound 15 ounces is 3 pound 15 ounces more than I saw this weekend. Yeah, Wade Life. If you go on there and you decide to order something, tell them the outdoor amputee referred you. I was getting ready to ask you if you went out fishing today. So I got up this morning and it looked like it was supposed to rain all morning. I got up and it wasn't raining. And as soon as I started moseying around, the time difference really threw me off. It started raining. So I just went to Lowe's, got some PVC pipe. Um, as you'll see in my upcoming video, I've got a jet ski trailer and it's we've changed it. It's been converted. I've got it set up to where I can haul my shearwater by putting it right in the middle. And then if me and my son go, I've got it fixed on each side to where I can put the kayaks on. But he had the Sea Ghost last year, and the cutout on the bottom, it's really narrow. And so I used 2x4s to set his on. So I've got to take those off. He's going to need a 3-inch PVC pipe. So I'm going to convert that over. That'll also help me with something that I've been working on about getting my kayak in at the end of the day. Oh yeah, Greg. They made sure to tell me that. I got to give mine a good cleaning before I do anything. It's set in storage all winter, so it's got the dusty storage. I know some of you all may be into hunting. Some of you all, I know some of y'all watch hunting, but you're really not into it. But my last hunting episode this year dropped. So um, it was one of my weirdest deer hunts in Tennessee. If you haven't got to see the video yet, it is live on the page right now. You can go over and check it out. The thumbnail will kind of guide you in to what happened during my deer hunt. But I tried something a little bit different this year. I watch a lot of YouTube. Don't watch hardly any TV anymore. So I watch YouTube to really study. I watch how creators are doing their content, not to copy what they're doing, but I just like to get a feel for how they're editing, kind of how the flow of their videos go. And most of the content that I watch, they accumulate a lot of footage to make one good footage. So those videos typically do really, really good. But being a smaller channel, I needed content. So I decided this year that I was going to film every episode and I was going to do it. If I went on a Saturday, it was an episode. If I went on a Sunday, it was an episode. Mainly just kind of have a little bit of a episode catalog, try to build the watch time hours. So you got to see the good. Well, you got to see not much of the good. You got to see the bad, but that's hunting. It's just like fishing. Sometimes you go out fishing, you don't catch fish, you don't get a bite. But that's how I did my hunting this year. But let me tell you, Greg, that poor squirrel terrorized me every time I hunted in Tennessee. That poor squirrel had what was coming to it, and it was a 410 shell. And if you notice, I gave my son's deer mount back here a little mohawk, but this is a prop from my last deer hunt. So there might not have been a lot of horns on the wall, but there was a fuzzy trophy. He was deaf before he died. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you've ever heard me trampling through the woods, he had to have been deaf, that's for sure. But if you've seen some of the footage from that, they were way too busy eating nuts. I'm pretty sure I videoed more squirrels than I did deer this year. Hey, I appreciate that way life. I ain't gonna lie, that public defender is loud. Now, I will say this, I could have had a better 410 load for small game, and that might have been a little bit of my fault because I grabbed the wrong ammo. So those were target rounds and not game rounds. So yeah, that could have went a lot better, but it still worked. And I'll tell you, that gun is not something that you want to just practice with all the time. It's got a lot of kick, and if you got big hands, it will snap your wrist a ton. I don't know what in the world my dogs are going crazy over. But yeah, that it's sad that the best trophy that I got from this year was a gray fuzzy squirrel tail, the wrist breaker. Yeah, that's what it should have been called. Should have been called the judge, the wrist breaker. But you know what? I'll still probably do my hunting episodes the same way this year. I figure, makes a good catalog. Most people like to enjoy wildlife footage. I'm blessed enough where I hunt that I do get to see good wildlife. So most of my videos, if you see, I rarely had a few episodes that were pretty dead, but for the majority, I had deer all the time, squirrel. Did have a bear encounter this year while I was during archery season. I've had some elk. So I get a plethora of wildlife. So I'm aware. Don't get that many high views. I'm okay with it. Just stating if the weather's cooperating, did hit the float, chasing big brown rainbow. Do you know I don't trout fish that much. We got trout fishing here, but I just never really got into it. I trout fished a lot when I was younger, but I haven't trout fished in a long time. I don't think I've caught a trout since I was a teenager, and that's almost decades ago now. Fishing videos do really well. Just fish lobster not related to cat. I tell you what, I love catfishing. I'm not gonna lie. I probably like catfishing just as much as I do bass fishing. And this summer, that's why I'm putting the lights on. I'm going to the lake. Got a good cove. It's pretty quiet. It's near a marina, and it is known to have some big catfish. So, getting an anchor, I'm going to go out and I am going to catfish off the kayak. I've already got a couple of my rods set up, but I've got to fix them because I got to put my new line on there. So I will tell you real fast, talk about the bingo braid, the bingo life. Um, she's empty clawed. I used it all. I got 2 spools out of that one. I got to get some more, but I bought some of the fluoro. That's going to be basically my leader that I use on my big rods, and then I'm running braid, and then I'll just show you some of my, got a roll of coastal. It's this nice green color. I'm backwards here, so bear with me. And I got some of this invisible line to try. It's chameleon. It looks really good. So look at that. So we're going to spool some of that. And I got some yellow. Now we'll talk about the bingo braid. So yesterday I did get to go fishing for a couple hours, and I just hit a local spot here. There's an area where we got a little dock area and then a little island. And if you got to watch my short from yesterday where I was talking about the golf course, that is the area that I was fishing. And there's a little dock over there. And last spring, I caught some dinks. And when I say dinks, they were, put it this way, my whopper plopper was bigger. But it gave me a chance to test out my reels from the winter and the new line that I took out. So last year, I've mainly used an open bail, I call them open face reels. That's been my thing. But since getting into the bass fishing, I have tried to get into the bait casting. My first bait caster that I bought was, it was from Walmart. I don't even know the brand, but I will tell you, it was horrible. That thing backlash every single time. The settings on it are horrible. So last year for my birthday or Father's Day, my wife got me a proficiency drip. And at the time I was using I don't even remember what braid it was. It was something from Walmart. It did pretty decent, but it backlashed a lot. And if you watch my pond videos, that's where a lot of my bloopers come from, is from the backlashing. And I had a lot of those on the kayak. So the goal was get better rod and reels this year. So I'm going to show you one of my new ones, and it's already my favorite. So I got the Lose Smash. And if you see my legs, I like them flashy. So I love the bright rods. Now I just got to try to find some different braid to put on there. And then I picked up another Lose. This is the American Hero. You know me, I'm all about the American dream. Red, white, and blue all the way through. And this is my other one for bass. So I got the Lose open bill, and all those have my bingo braid on them. But I will tell you, yesterday I mainly used the Lose Smash. Wow. Not one backlash yesterday. I think that's the first time that I've ever went out fishing that I did not have a backlash. Let me try to catch up on some chats here. We're just going to be hit me up. I'm pro staff with River Cats tackle. I will do that. I will hit you up. I've seen the River Cats. The classic character. I didn't realize it. It was 8 East. Yeah, we're in that weird part of the world, but I appreciate you being on here, Classy Kayaker. I will say that the people that are in this chat right now, y'all have been awesome. I talk about this with Roy from USA Kayak Fish Magazine. The networking and the friends from that intermediate group have been fantastic. I could not ask for better people to be a part of. When I get spare time, if you got YouTube channels, I make sure to go on there and support you all because I appreciate the support back. So I can't say it enough. Thank you for being here. Beyond Braid. Yeah, I tried that. Beyond Braid went beyond the trash can pretty quick. Learning bait casting is much better on a better reel. I will say last year I almost quit using a bait caster. Even, the proficiency, it was decent, but I still struggled with it. Yep, and you get cheaper options, you get what you get. You can make them work, but I'm more about getting a decent one, getting it set up and not worrying about it. And after yesterday, now I see why. I think that's the first time I've not wanted to snap a rod over my prosthetic leg fishing. I've got a Shimano that is a little bass crappy rod. I love that thing. I will tell you that little Shimano, it's an open face. That thing will cast, it will outcast any rod that I've got. I'm not kidding you. Reach out to Dan. I will do that, Mr. Gimpy. Yeah, what I've started doing is I really haven't invested in rods. Um, because mainly the last few years I've hunted way more than I have fished. But now that I'm really getting my kayak fine tuned, I'm really enjoying the fishing a little more than the hunting. So I'm trying to get enough rods to where I can have rods set up for specific types of lures, which is very helpful when time is of the essence. Yeah, the Abu Garcia Revo. Yeah. I'm going to sell some prosthetic stuff on the black market. I've got so many prosthetic feet laying around. Even if I could just get a fraction of it back, could buy some nice fishing stuff. I will tell you after using the lose this weekend, and then I'll be using it this coming weekend. Right now, I'm pretty impressed with the lose. I traded a prosthetic foot for a combo. The sad part is my prosthetics, when I'm done with them, they're either broke or they look like they come from a third world country. It's pretty bad. I joke around when I say that, but I don't have that many prosthetics laying around, um, just because I'm really rough on them and they tend to wear out and break. I've got two in reserve for my water legs when I get those that I'm going to specifically use those for water leg setup. But yeah, I just wanted to shout out, the bingo braid this year. I've had good conversations with Julian and Stormy, and we talk about all of us talk about every day. And he wanted to know if I would rep the bingo braid this year, and I will have to say that is my first fishing sponsor. So right now, I've been pretty impressed with it. So this weekend, we're going to make some content. When we finally get to be on the kayak and fish, you definitely don't want to miss those videos. There may be a blooper or two. I've got some stuff planned up my sleeve for some people. Roy might know my secret plan that I have. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this weekend. Yeah, Greg, you're right. You got to have multiple rods for different setups. Plus, I don't like switching lures out constantly. So that's one thing I've learned is, if I get one that I'm going to use for, you know, wacky worms, Texas rig, it's pretty close. I could just use that one for those. Then I've got a couple for topwater stuff that I use and frogs. It's definitely been a lot easier. Yeah, I stopped at a fishing shop. They had an open house this week, and I stopped in just to see what was going on. And they had some. They do a lot of Shimano, and I was looking, and these were $400, $500, $600 reels. And I'll tell you what, if I'm spending $500 on a reel, I better be catching a fish every time that line hits water. I would have anxiety if I spent $500 on a reel. I'm not gonna lie. Mine's more like 4 spinning rods and 1 bait caster on deck. We're about to even it out though. Classic kayaker. Yeah, I'm once you get comfortable with a bait caster, which I started to at the end of the year last year, they work a lot better. They're a little bit easier. It's just I can't deal my OCD and my anxiety when you get a backlash. Might be a little bit of my temper too. I can't. But I will have to say it's been less, but you're right. My For all you baitcaster people, help me with this. If you're right-handed, should your reel be on the right or should you get a left-handed reel? I feel like I'm more finesse. I'm right-handed and I feel like I'm more finesse with the reel on the right, but it feels absolutely foreign to me. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because all my life I've had left-handed reels. It's just a odd feeling to me. Yeah, see, that's how my proficiency was I had last year. It was reel on the left, and that's what I got used to. And all my new ones are right-handed reel. So I don't think my brain knows what to do yet. I may let the old boy use the proficiency. So is anybody going fishing this weekend? How's your all's weather this weekend for fishing trips? Classic hacker. Yeah, that's what if it's left-handed reel, I feel like I can get into it quicker. Yeah, I will say catching bigger fish on a bait caster seems to be more fun. I just don't know if it's because it's usually 6, 6, 7 foot rod, medium heavy action, or what it is. But I will tell you, sometimes for a challenge, I'll take one of my smaller crappie rods and I'll go carp fishing to see if I can pull a 10, 15 pound carp in on ultralight rods. When you get one of them in on the ultralight, that is fun. Greg's going rain or shine. Yeah, somebody told me I should have went, but I'm like, dude, I have rustable parts on my legs until WD-40 starts sponsoring me. I gotta stay out of the rain. The other thing I couldn't get used to is I'm used to a two-piece rod. Transporting them beast is a job, especially if you ain't loading them. I hate putting mine on the kayak and tying them down. I usually throw them in the back of the truck. But when I'm not using the truck, they're a little bit difficult to transport. Classic car. Yeah, I seen your all's video. Looks like y'all had a great time on your trip, especially on those nice, stable kayaks. I'm just making sure here I have not missed anybody. If any of you all know anybody that does the 3D printing out of good material, let me know. I am trying to find my printer will not handle it. It only prints in PLA and something else. I need some TPU, PETG. Well, mine will print in PETG, but I need some stronger materials. I need something printed for my kayak to deal with my adaptability stuff that I'm doing. And I've sent some messages out and I'm not hearing back from anybody. So I need to try to get something printed so I can test something. Check out Honey's Hideout. I will do that. Yeah, I hear a lot about the native slayers. Seems like anymore is everything that I see is native, bona fide, and some new canoe. I'm still not 100% sold on Old Town rising from the dead with the Bass Pro acquisition. We'll see. Thank you, Classy Kayaker. I will check that out. I had someone respond, and when I told them what I needed, it's been 2 weeks ago. I haven't heard anything else. O Town treat their pro staff really good. Make some awesome lures. Yeah, I've seen a couple people that were involved with them talk about that they got treated really good with O Town. I think things in the market changed and quality control issues, things like that. really hurt. Or maybe it was Hobie. I'm sorry if I said Old Town. You are right. I missaid that. Hobie is going to Bass Pro. So nobody shoot me, please. Yeah, Kayla, Chris is he is talking me into the river fish. We've been chatting about it, trying to plan a day. Oh, there's Southwest Indiana Outdoors. Thanks for joining. I know Southwest Indiana Outdoors, I know you all been busy too. I've been keeping up with your stuff, so you all been on the grind too. I know you're really, really close of hitting your goals. And y'all make some really good content. Y'all been really great people with great information. Stormy, you still in here? Oh, I know a trip with Chris is gonna be great. We talked the other night for hour and a half, so we had really good conversations. Congratulations, Southwest Indian Outdoors, hitting that monetization. The grind has paid off. Proof is in your content. As Chris said, y'all definitely earned it. I'm glad that you all got it. No, I'm taking a nap. Your uh your 3D rod parts are going out tomorrow. For some reason, the UPS shipping store, they don't like to work on Sundays. I appreciate that, Kayla. I don't think it'll be hard to print because it's going to be the size of a cup holder. I just got to try to figure out what materials I need so it's strong enough. I know the one thing I've learned over the last couple months is I'm really frustrated with the lack of communication from not people, just companies, trying to get answers to things and trying to get some adaptability stuff going on. There just seems to be no interest in it. And I get it. It when you're these companies, it's about generating sales, revenue, but I think they missed the picture that there is a lot more people that are adaptive that want to get into this market that would generate a lot of sales. And I'm just going to have to keep poking the bear until we get somebody to bite. Yeah, I tested everything on your Stormy. The rod threading looks a little rough, but I promise you they will thread on. I appreciate that, Chris. I'm uh I'm definitely working on that. I did find out some information, so to make what I'm thinking happen, it's gonna take a good chunk of money, but I like a challenge. You're right, Greg. That's a problem with most companies today. Everything's automated. It goes overseas. You have to email people. You can't talk to people anymore. I'll definitely go back through the chat and look at these, Kayla. So thank you very much for the information. But yeah, that's my frustration with a lot of these companies is just trying to even get a hold of someone to talk to people. The companies that I've been dealing with here, like, they're great. This is why their businesses are doing good. Um, Communication is pretty quick, and the products are really good too. The ones that don't communicate, that's usually where the lack starts happening. But yeah, I'm hoping that my little idea that I have is something that I can bring to fruition. Um, I think it would be able to reach a lot of people and help a lot of people. It's just not an easy task to undertake. And, you know, when you're a little smaller channel, people tend to not take you serious. So I'm working on that. But I'm not a quitter. So, like challenges, we'll make it happen. May not be soon, but we'll definitely make it happen. Yeah, I've got to cut my trip short next weekend. My son has a motocross race on Sunday, and that's the first race of the season. So I'm going to come back home and not miss my son's motocross race. When your kids are starting to get to the age of growing up, you got to enjoy every single moment you can with them before they fly the nest. So I'm going to enjoy his race next Sunday. And I'm going to do a video a little bit later this spring. It'll be a day at the motocross track with him hanging out. So this kind of goes on my adaptive series that I'm doing to kind of show the ins and outs, what we do at a race day. If you've never been to a motocross race, it's something a little bit different outdoors. I think you all will thoroughly enjoy it. My son has been racing motocross for 11 years now. And there for a few years, we traveled the East Coast racing from New Jersey to Florida, and we had a ball. Thank you, Classy Kayaker, for coming on. I appreciate that. Appreciate your support. But yeah, that's one thing I enjoy. He's into motorcycles, street bikes, dirt bikes. I like to ride his street bike. I rode it Friday. He didn't want me to. He was afraid I would drop it. But we enjoy the dirt bike, and you'll see him some this year fishing. He doesn't like to get up early. I like to be on the water right as the sun's coming up. He doesn't like to get up until after the sun's come up, so that creates a problem. I don't know if anybody got to see my short this week, but I'm gonna try to market the pocket leg combo. I'm just trying to figure out what reel would be budget friendly to put on the pocket leg. All right, guys. Been on over a little over an hour. I appreciate everybody stopping by, hanging out. I can't begin to thank you enough for the support for the channel. I gotta kick out of the corky ball short. I spilled that. Yeah. That the non-fishing had finally set in for me. So at this point, it's because of the weather, it's mostly been making content in the studio. So that's going to change this week, though. But like I said, I appreciate y'all joining in, supporting me. We're in the full grind now. The 1,000 hours is ticking for me now. So I've got to hit it hard so I can hit that monetization. So appreciate y'all joining along and taking a ride with me. So going to try to go live next weekend. Again, depends on what time we get done with motocross. So if not, I will be back the week after. I'm probably going to start doing some lives out on the kayak while we're fishing. So you know what to do. We will see you next time. Thanks for stopping by.